Um, it's been a lot of years of darkness that I've had to deal with her.
Wow.
It's been stages of depression often in my life now that she's on my.
You.
No, I mean, honestly, obviously you guys know Kim near and dear to me because not many people can deal with me for 3 years on a constant basis, pretty much every freaking day. So cuckoo. But if there's one thing that she can absolutely freaking manage like a boss, it's social media. And it's perfect that it's social media for dummies because she's mentally warped to work with me this long. But she manages a lot of the social media and things that you see with Fitnesspreneurs Life, Visionary Planet, and things out there. So the girl lives, breathes, and just enjoys social media and loves teaching it to others. So have your pens out, have your notebooks out. She's going to probably drop a lot of freaking tips that execute on 1 to 3 of them, not 97 of them. And you're going to see your social media starting to get some traction and your message shared with your tribe. So Kim, take it away.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, and that's really right off the bat, because I know when you start to learn more about social media, it gets overwhelming. You're like, should I be doing these ads? Should I be doing a like page? Should I be doing all this stuff? And then, how many hashtags do I need? It's like, that is overwhelming. And so if you can at least take, like Vito said, 1 to 3 away from this, you're going to be golden. And why I say that is because the way that I learn social media is through breadcrumbing. It's through pieces. And then when I think that I've given myself that graduation hat. So insert yourself right now. You do not need to use, I'm not even gonna look at chat. I never look at chat. So you do not need to have to be this expert in social media to do well in this business. And I really want to make that very clear, because when people will come to me about social media, I find that they're so defeated right off the bat in this business in general. And I'm like, wait, Sasha, why are you beating yourself up? You're still serving 5 to 10 people a month in your business. Who cares if you're not that great at social media yet? And then so I'll have people say to me like, well, I don't know how to share my story. And it's like, wait, did you, foster 5 people and, brought on a new coach in the last 3 months? Don't worry, you're not good at social media yet. And that's all this misconception of that we need social media, aka our posting, to be really good in this business. And I say that because that's how I felt. So I want to be able to take myself especially, but the word social media and what it stands for off the pedestal and right next to you right now. So if anyone has not done the visual, take it off the pedestal right now. Paula, I don't know why you're not doing it. Over here. Get it next to you. Brian already gave it a beer. We're getting excited because social media is to your benefit. It's not the other way around. And what I mean by that is that we think that if we don't put up social media, our business is not going to work. I would say if you leave this call and never post up on social media, yeah, you're going to be a little behind. But guess what? Maybe that's the path you got to go down. Just like I had to go down a path of 2 years a year and a half of feeling social media was forced. And it was just me in a selfie with Shakeology kissing it. Like I would kiss it more than I kiss my husband. So that was a problem. So how can we now make that social media something that you're excited to show up for? Because if I can give you anything today is that you start to get that little bit of that fascination that Vito says. You don't need to do what I do, meaning go out and go teach it. Get so much you're geeking out over it. I just happen to really, 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 really like to learn about it. And I like to see people's behaviors. So I'm going to get into this piece called storytelling. And why storytelling? And why do we need to get into that is because what I really want for us as hard chargers, like we're unique. And this is something that I'm not just saying because I happen to be a hard charger. I'm within the community and Vito already paid me beforehand $100 to say it. I believe this because we aren't the people that are out there that are just selling stuff. We are out there and we're serving them with what we are as individuals. So it's the difference between of who we are and what we do. So I want you guys to think about this and why I'm not getting in. You're like, come on, just tell me how many hashtags to do. Tell me how to get this post up. Don't worry, we will get there. Guess what? That's the easy part. And you're like, I swear it is the easy part. But who you are versus what you do. What you do is a Beachbody coach and you sell Shakeology, Beachbody on the Man, all of the amazing sports performance line and challenge groups. But who are you? Because we start to lose that identity piece when we become this Beachbody coach. And so that is why we are seeing the mind numbing of posts out there. We know exactly who they are. They're a Beachbody coach. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just being a Beachbody coach or sharing about Shakeology, sharing about Beachbody on Man. But how can we now start to be a little bit more of the who you are as an individual? Because that makes your social media page unique. And that makes people say, I don't want to stop following him or her. And my goal for you guys is to get to a point where people are going into what I like to call Google. It's Beachbody Google and Facebook, and they will search for you. They will search for you for the health, the fitness, the mindset, whatever that unique thing that you come to. And I want to take also off the table is like, we get so hung up of like, why are we individual? Like, who am I to go out there and talk about health and fitness when I just ate pizza last night? Who am I to talk about mindset when I just yelled at my husband? So how can we now take that off the table and just say, honor the process, honor your struggle in the social media? Because as much as I love the fact that there's almost 20 of you on here, I believe people come on these calls because they're struggling in this area. When I want you guys to feel that it is a journey, people like the Vitos and the Beckys and the Paulas of the world don't always have it figured out. We are just going through that process, really listening to who we are and who we want to serve. And that's going to really come with time. So I want to go, so I have a few people that, hold on one second. I'm going to look at this. So I have a few of you guys that did interact with me about stuff on the call. I'm going to call you, not call you out, but like, I'm going to shout you out because I want to really be able to answer your questions. If you have any answer or questions, please feel free to unmute or I can answer them at the end. So I hope I addressed most of it, but we're going to really focus on that who piece, the storytelling piece, because I believe people really struggle with that storytelling in general. Why I say that is because I see a lot out there that people are using how people in the Beachbody world explain their life. And it's very general. And as much as I believe those are great stepping stones in the sense of, I feel more fulfilled. I'm just saying these words out right now. And it will make sense when I share my screen. But I feel more fulfilled. I'm so happy. I love this tribe. All great. All needed, but how can we now explain that conversation that you had around the fire where you guys were talking business, but then you also had a breakthrough about how you really want more from your life? How do you insert them into your life opposed to saying this beautiful scenery is where again, you'll understand a little bit more when I show you, but how can we get more into that storytelling? You don't have to be a writer to do this. You don't have to be a social mediaist to do this. You have to be in tune with who you are and what you want to share with the world. So without further ado, alrighty, let's go there. So it's funny that Vito said about the social media storytelling for dummies, and he made fun of me. So one thing I'm very, very open about is that one of my self-limiting beliefs and my inner critic is that I am not smart enough. And so when I think about social media and when I think about where I started to now, holy crap, why would anyone want to hear from me? I can barely spell. That's a huge issue on social media. And by the way, there's a great app for that. But I can barely make sense half the time. That's what I would say to myself. So I wouldn't do things. So I want you guys to write this down right now. What is one of your self-limiting beliefs that is holding you back from posting, inviting through a post, being vulnerable through a post? Even if it doesn't have to be something where it's like massive. It could be just something where, you know, you're not even being honest with your story, whatever that is for you. Write that down, at least note it, asterisk it to get back of where you feel there is a self-limiting belief, because 9 times out of 10, that's your roadblock. So when I had the self-limiting belief that I'm not smart enough, I can barely spell, I don't make sense half the time, well, I'm not going to go out there and story tell. I'm going to be uber general. I'm going to talk about my shape, talk about Beachbody on Demand, talk about my community. I'm going to copy and paste something that someone else kind of said, but put like maybe a few of my misspelled words in there. No, that's when I had to get real with myself and say, I freaking love this platform because I now don't have to worry about people within my community to be my only tribe. I can connect with people all across the world, or well, mostly across the world, but mostly in the United States and Canada, now UK for Beachbody. So now let's get it in there. So where are you at now in social media? Because you have that roadblock or you have that self-limiting belief. Where are you at in social media though? Are you posting at all? So I want you to write this down for your reference, because when Vito says take 1 to 3, this is where we have to make sure we're taking 1 to 3 of what we need. It does not make sense. Oh my God, there's a cockroach. Not a cockroach. See, I say the wrong things. There's a bug in my house. Oh my God. It's like one of those, never mind. We're moving forward. So everyone's gonna be alive. And it's not a cockroach. That's like far from it. Again, see guys, still presenting to you somehow. I still have you guys on. Those 1 to 3 are needed because it will really mess you up if you think you got to do exactly what I'm doing, or, you know, exactly what Vito's doing, exactly what Jenny's doing. No, where are you at? How many times a week are you posting? What are you posting right now? Are you posting just about your workouts? Are you posting just, about workouts and shakes? Are you posting about your story? Are you being vulnerable? Where are you at right now? Because the quicker we understand our reality, instead of ignoring it, which if you're on the line or listening in, I know you're not ignoring your social media. It's just a matter of getting a plan that you feel really confident about. And that's what I'm going to leave you guys with today, is having a plan that you feel confident about. Because the worst, sharing paused. Hold on 1 second. I had something recording in the background. Let me share again. There we go. 1 second. Share screen. Sorry about that. Play. Okay. Candace, can you see this? Awesome, girl. Thanks. Okay. All right. Now, where are we going? Because, oh boy, sorry. Mostly women, and we can exclude Bryant and Vito from this. I apologize. Oh, girl, you got it. So where are you going now? Where you're going to go after this call. And I don't take this lightly. I don't just say this to be like uber fluffy and like wish upon a star and hope to God that you have a social media plan after this. No, I'm being literal, that if you take this, and you hear this probably many times, if you take it and run with it, you will build. So where are you going to go after this call? You're going to have a solid plan. You are going to feel more confident in your posts. You are going to feel that you can share a piece of your story without it being this complete like, oh my gosh, it's so dramatic, I don't want to share my whole story. No, there's a way of you can share it in a light that you feel not only serves you, so that's that personal development, but it's also now that professional development to help other people out there. And that's going to come through some framework. And the framework is going to keep that emotional side out of it, that roadblock we talked about. Because that is when we start to get this overwhelming task and start to have it as it's just a piece of my online business, and I'm going to go out there and do all the other things, because people get so stuck on this piece. I didn't post today, or I don't have a lot of traction. I don't have the likes and comments. Well, guess what? Go have conversations with people. Go message them on the back end and get on a phone call. That's going to build your business, not just social media. So we are getting that mind right now. And I'm going to bring it home here. There's no confusion that I'm helping you guys get the mindset right before we even get into the tactics and really kind of the game plan of it all. Because this is your foundation. If you are like, I am not smart enough, I don't take beautifully lit photos, which does not matter in the long term, or excuse me, in the short term of it. If you want to do that down the road, again, aim it. You want to have beautifully lit photos. That's your ultimate dream to have on your Instagram page. Awesome. But getting your mind right is the most required. I can sit here and tell you X, Y, Z and everything all over, but it's not going to matter if you're still going to say to yourself, I'm never going to be good at social media. I remember where it switched for me. People always was like, how did you get better at that? And as much as I'm still learning, I'm constantly learning. The switch was for me is after year one. I started to see the impact that social media in general had. Maybe I wasn't seeing it potentially in my business. And the impact was, if you had one person come up to you in this business already and say, wow, I saw that post and it really touched me, or it really motivated me, it really moved me to think a little bit differently. It clicked for me. And when it clicked for me, that's when I said, I am going to now invest in social media. Invest in it financially, invest in it in time, because I really want to get better at this. So now can you invest? Maybe you don't do a lot of financial, but can you invest time? Like I said in the beginning, you don't have to geek out over this stuff, but invest your time, and you guys are doing that right now. So if your coaches aren't on this call, I highly recommend sending them the link. Invest in this time. This is the only way that it's going to happen. So we hear, one of our vital behaviors is personal development. There's no confusion that not only personal development helps us as human beings, as just easing our minds, this and that, but the more personal and professional development I do, the more I can post. So I'm going to reference, I'm just going to stop the screen share, or not the thing. I'm not going to stop the screen share, but I'm going to reference Nicole really quick. So Nicole Rigo, I think I may have, not Naples. Nicole with an R. Sorry, I may have butchered your last name. So Nicole said, some days I feel stuck on how to share and it doesn't come across as force. I call it a creativity block. Some days it flows, other days I struggle with this. The best way I can share with you guys on how to get out of that block, professional and personal development. The more you do that, the more you grow. The more you aim it to what your tribe needs, aka what you need, the more you'll have a creativity. The more you won't feel that crap, I don't know what to post. So now you've been looking at personal development as like, check, that's off one of my vital behaviors. But now, check, that's how I'm going to go teach something. So you got value of it. So for example, if you got value from this call, go share it with a coach. Because that means that you got value from something that you read, you did, you heard. Go share that on your social media. That's how the creativity goes. That's how it flows. Because then let's go back to that self-limiting belief. Who's going to listen to me? I don't know anything about this. I was just eating pizza yesterday and Shakeology is helping me, day by day. Well, guess what? What did you learn that day? Because you're always a work in progress. No one here is perfect, but yet we're all trying to be perfect on social media. I'm going to say that again. No one here is perfect besides Vito. I mean, I guess he would say he's perfect. But he's like 99.9%. But now, don't try to go do that on social media. So we're so stuck on the fact that if I don't have that perfect post, that most entertaining, educational, empowering post, I might as well not do it. No. If it's that bad, go take it down later. But guess what? You learned from that. Why did you learn from that? Because you trusted your gut and knew that that was not something that you want to put out there. As much as I say I teach on this, I'm still a learner. I will take down posts if I'm like, hey, that didn't go with that. That doesn't go with my vision and my mission. As much as I thought it did, I didn't. Click, take it off. And guess what? They have less than probably 30 seconds that they remember that. They're going on to do the next thing. So as much as we put so much energy and so much stock into social media, they forgot. Because remember, as much as we think that people know what we're doing, they don't. they have their own life. They're worrying about their own stuff. So the more you show up, the consistency factor, and the more you trial and error with content, aka post, the more confident you'll be. So let's take that mindset and let's take it into now the tactics. So this right here, tip, I'm gonna always put little tips right here. I like to find, and this is just my personal preference, for photos, I like to find walls that have color. Walls that are, Vito likes to find brick walls as well. If you don't know what that is, just go back to his Facebook page. He really loves brick walls. So if you, that's just a little social media tip right here. I'll do little things like that for the people that, really are looking for that visual aspect of their social media. And so this right here, this was in New Orleans, but live less out of habit and more out of intent. So when you have that intention for the week, so this is going to be a framework I want you guys to go off of. What is your intention for that week for social media? So I like to theme my weeks. And what I mean by that is I give it a word or a phrase. And how do I get that? Personal, professional development, either or. And I like to give myself one word for the week, because it gives me a framework. It doesn't make me feel so scattered brain. And why that's valuable is because then you have an underlining message. So Beachbody's message is to end the trend of obesity, have the cure for financial freedom, and that's Vito's message too. And so what is that message for your social media for that week? What's that underlining thing that you're going to stand for? Does that show up in every post? No. But guess what? If it does, you're now starting to get really clear on your messaging. So if I have a word for this week, so my word for this week is forgiveness. So how can I do forgiveness in my empowering? How can I do forgiveness when I'm talking about forgiving themselves with their health and fitness? How can I do forgiveness when I'm talking about that mindset? How can I do forgiveness when I'm talking about, stuff in my family life? And so that's one of the intentions that I put out there. And then I'm going to share really quick right here something that I did, and I shared this on the call, on my T Believe and Achieve call, or my team call. And I'm going to share it with you guys because I just thought this was a good side tip. Again, 1 to 3 things out of this. Alrighty. 1 second. Delete. Get it in there. All right. Share screen. So if you use Google Calendar, if you don't, if you use pen and paper, if you don't, whatever you use, get it down. Because I now have that one word, okay? So we have that one word. And then, this is like last week for Labor Day. Think of kind of the behaviors. Is anyone really wanting to eat healthy on this Labor Day? Okay, well, how can we talk about some family things? Are you going to promote your challenge group on Labor Day? Maybe not. Personally, I don't see the value of it because people are relaxing. They're either being in the moment with friends or they're just kind of looking for that entertainment piece. So I talk about my family. So forgiveness in that family. How do I put that in a message? Then I talk on Tuesday and Wednesday about health and fitness related. Why? Because I'm promoting for a 7-day free group that's coming up. Thursday, I talk about the value of social media, what the power behind it is. The Friday, I talk about play. So it's just because that's going to start to now, what we're going to get into is that storytelling. So can you not only give your intention for the week, but can you get really clear on those days? And if you're new to this business, you probably haven't seen that before. If you've been in this business, that's a reminder, because it really starts to help you see a framework around things and it starts to have you plan it out. So Bryant, you were talking about that before. How do I invite? So when you talk about the educational stuff, great, awesome. That's leading up to it. He's educating his tribe on the value of health and fitness and mindset. The value of how you can drink beer and be able to still live fit. Now we invite. And I'm going to show how you guys can invite every single day. And I'm not talking about just to your challenge groups, but invite them to always engage with you, because the more engagement you have, not not per se likes and comments, but people just engaging in the fact of, hey, I'm going to talk about this more often. I'm going to be able to be like, hell yeah, I agree with what Brian's saying. Candace just spoke to my heart. She knows what I'm talking about. And that's when I say it's not about just the likes and comments. You're engaging them to even think those silent people that will reach out to you one day. And as much as how frustrating that is, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to be like, those silent people, those people that are looking for me, like, I can't wait that long. Why is it taking so long? Well, then you got to get back to that mindset thing. Why are you even here? Why did you say yes to Beachbody? Why did you say yes to your upline? Why did you say yes to getting on this call? There has to be something bigger. And that where I'm going back to that word of intention for the week, that's going to get you up on the weekdays when you don't want to. That's going to get you excited about the content that seems scary, that vulnerability piece of storytelling. That's going to get you excited, to get through those barriers of inviting people. That's the value. So now let's get into how can you storytell? So like I said to you guys before, I did a ton of mindset work right there. I haven't even really taught you anything right now. But the reason why we have to do that mindset work is because this right here is going to make it this right here is very easy once we get into it. Why? Because I helped you with a frame. I'm giving you a framework for it. And also because you are already doing it. It's just now, how do we just make it easier for you and more consistent for you? So we used to be told this, and this is just my personal preference and experience as well, is that we used to be told 2 to 3 times, or 2 to 3, even 5 times a way post up on social media. The times have changed. You do not have to post that much. So take that off your plate. Again, this is something from experience. This is something from just me being out in the market. Quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. Because when I think back to those 7 days out of the week, 2 to 3 times a post, holy crap. And I used to teach it differently. I used to be able to be like, hey, give this quick tip, or hey, do this. And it's like, you don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to post that much anymore, especially when you're struggling to get people into your challenge groups. When you're struggling to have those conversations, give yourself that break of, here's my time for social media. I'm going to block it out. I'm going to write the post for the week. And then I'm going to go invite. And then I'm going to go do my personal development, then my professional development to excel in this. That's when you start to really be able to, I'm just going to get these out of your way, really be able to see this piece. So now there's 3 ways that I want to share with you guys how to storytell. Storytell to your challenge group, the coaching opportunity, and you, boo-boo. That's me. I'm putting in my personality. That's just how I talk. I call one of my cats Boo-Boo Cha. It's just swipe. His name is Dr. Dre, so it makes it even more, doesn't even make sense at all for you. But it's my personality. It's where people really feel that I can share myself on a virtual level and they can feel like we're already best friends before we meet. And if that's something that you want to do, insert more of your personality. If you don't want anyone to like you or be best friends with you, whatever that is, don't insert your personality. But I will say the second you put your personality into your content, into your verbiage, more people will listen up. More people will say, wow, we would be friends in real life. Well, guess what? Virtual is now real. So why really this storytelling piece? Like, what's the point? I've touched on this a little bit, and in the beginning is that as hard chargers and as insert your team name here, but our chargers is our big team, and what we are as individuals, we want to be different than the norm. We want to not be that team that is just constantly going with trends, that's constantly just saying like, this is just how it is. No, we're shaking up the norm. We want to stand out. And if that inner critic's coming up for you, because I know it is, I'm not unique, I'm not that special. Guess what? You can be, the more you put it out there. So I want them to help you, like I was just saying, get them to know you without even talking to you. This is that impact on the back end. This is where your business starts to run when people go to your Instagram page or your Facebook page and get to know you before they even reach out. That's what it's your storefront. It's like you're in this kind of walking down the street in your town, and you're seeing all these storefronts, and all of a sudden they stop at your Instagram page or your Facebook page, and you're like, he seems pretty cool. Maybe I'll go in there. I don't have time today, but I'll come back. That's why the storytelling is good, because you're starting to capture them in a different way, opposed to saw damn shake bottle again. I already saw 15 other people do that. So storytelling is also engage others with you. They're going to be able to now engage on a different level. I had someone say to me today, I don't know how you put yourself out there that much. And I said, it's because I want to engage with other people. And it doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh, this dramatic thing, and like my boyfriend left me, and that's my pivotal point of, why I'm not smart enough. No, it doesn't always have to be like that. It can be where you're sharing them a story about your weekend. You're sharing them a story about, why you got into health and fitness. And people read books, people read the news, people read things because they want to be entertained. So you're entertaining them within your own story. Again, inner critic. Why not have a cool story? You're going to start to do that as you see this framework. And you're going to make your page, like a virtual book versus a sales page. That's a big thing. And one of Vito's philosophies is that we are out there to stand for something and serve versus just sell something. Sales equals service. We need to sell Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology and this community 100%. Sales equals service. You're giving them something that they need in their life. But how can we now make our pages like a virtual book that people want to go to? They want to go to. And no one comes to social media to be sold. That is just something that I want to say out loud and hope you know. No one is waking up and saying, I can't freaking wait to be sold today. Like, I'm so pumped to be sold on Shakeology today. No, they want to be sold on feelings. They want to be sold that they're going to feel better because of what you have to serve. And that's going to come, Anna was saying this on the last call. I forget who it was. It was Eric War. What is it? 7 to 9 exposure. I think it's higher now. I think it's like, let's just say it's 10 to 15 exposures. Super defeating, right? Well, guess what? You're showing up every day. Because you're showing up for yourself, and then you're showing up for them. And the storytelling really gets that whole mindset of they relate to you. They get you because you're putting them into their shoes. So you're getting into their shoes with them. And then I love this piece about storytelling is that we get so hard on ourselves in this business that we aren't at a certain rank. We aren't at a certain salary. We aren't at a certain place in our social media and in whatever we want to be. The storytelling actually gives you that really humbling truth of the reflection of how far you've come. So now we were bringing it back to you. And if you're not journaling now, if you're not doing that reflection piece outside of, the personal development books and all that kind of stuff, now do it in your social media. Take it a little bit a step further, because now you're going to really start to see that you have come far. Were you sitting on a call at 8 Eastern on a Monday night 3 years ago, 5 years ago? No, you're probably on the couch. You're probably vegging out watching This Is Us. I can't freaking wait till that's on. So that is the show I watch. I watch it over the weekends. I'm super excited about it. But that's good right here. All right. So this is a kind of a insert here that it's like a Mad Libs piece to it for Challenge Group. So I was presenting this on the TBA call, and Anna brought up a really good point. So I really want to touch on this right now. Use this as like something that you can customize in the sense of like, right now I have like, today I'm feeling. If I couldn't believe it when someone told me this. So when I think about, this piece of it, start to give yourself something that you would say. So most days you can find me, most days you can find me in my workout room, jamming out to Beyonce and acting like my squats but they're really just booty shakes. So talking about Beachbody on Demand, but talking about your personality. So these are kind of like starters for you, because the whole thing is like, I don't know what to post. This will ignite it for you. And so, for example, when you're in your personal development and you read something and you're like, man, are you telling me that if I show up every single day just for 10 minutes on social media, that in 2 years that I will not only have a successful online brand or a Beachbody business, that I will be able to not only feel fulfilled within my career, whatever that is. I just described the compound effect. Small, insignificant steps over a small period of time compound into a big effect for you. So did you need to hear that today? I needed to hear this today. I needed to hear that I needed to give myself more grace, because I'm not alone when I feel like I'm not enough. And so when you start to do these things, how can you now insert your workouts, your nutrition, and your mindset, and then whatever you're finding that's unique to you. So for me, I find it's unique that I talk about balance. And there's a misconception that balance that's actually equals perfect, meaning when we feel most quote unquote balanced is when everything's kind of all in line. It's like, no, it's actually the true definition is finding peace in your highs and your lows. So now, how can we look at the challenge groups, what we're talking about in our challenge groups? So we're doing health, fitness, and mindset. So insert this in here. Insert your story in here. And so add your Mad Libs to it. If this is something that you grew up doing Mad Libs and you're like, this is really exciting, I love this kind of stuff, add a few of them for you so you can have a little bit of a system so you don't always feel stuck. Now let's go to the coach piece. And the reason why these are all kind of interchangeable in the sense, like, if you're talking about the coach opportunity, if you're talking about a challenge group, you can use these things in either way. Meaning, this right here is not just talking about, hi, I'm a Beachbody coach. This could be like why you got into challenge groups. But to keep it simple for today, I wanted to kind of give you 3 different ways on how to share your story. And so right here, it says, you see at the top, step 1, I work with. And then step 2, need help with. Step 3, I am lucky to teach them. So I work with women. So this is just a background. I work with those who live in. I don't really like, not that I don't like men, but I don't like to work with them because most of the time it's not really for the right reasons. So I work with women. And so I work with women that are looking to achieve balance. They are yearning for something in their life that they have not been seeing, and they're not getting it from the scale. They need more, because I'm lucky to teach them that the scale is not going to define them, but they are going to define themselves. Again, this is kind of like a off the cuff, but you see what I did. I took something from step 1, took something and inserted my story, took something from step 2, inserted my story, took something from step 3, and closed it out. So now, how can you share about this? Because this now takes the scary part of, I am a Beachbody coach. It's like, no, you help people do this. Or I coach people this. I speak about this. I inspire about this. I serve people with this. And that starts to make it more clear and concise for you, instead of coming to your computer or coming to your phone and having that blank thing, blinker, looking at you and saying, I don't know what to post. I never get feedback from you guys. So I'm always like, this presentation sucks. So now, storytelling. Nicole, I see your face, so that's always really good. So Nicole, going back to storytelling number 3, you. This one right here is the most overlooked. We are looking at social media as products, sell our business. We need to show up. And this is why I said, you guys, don't lose your identity. Don't lose your identity here on social media. For me, I was barely on social media before I became a Beachbody coach. So I did lose my identity. It's okay if you do. And because it's a learning experience. So my identity was, I am only a Beachbody coach, when no, I am a wife. I am funny in my own way. I am someone that's really passionate about, wine. I'm really passionate about, going out into nature, all these kind of things. Like, who are you? You are not just a Beachbody coach. And as much as we're looking at that social media platform as people only want to know about health and fitness and mindset, what are you talking about? No, they want to know about you, because as you've heard it before, and I'll say it again, they can Google how to get in shape. They can Google how to get better nutrition. They can go on to beachbody.com and not have a coach. You are showing the value of you in their life. So if you don't feel that confidence that you are this number one best coach in the whole entire world, guess what? People need people. People need mentors. I always say I never do this alone. I don't do life alone. I just don't. I have millions of mentors. I have podcasts that act as my mentors. I have, my husband, my friends, people to help me along this journey. And that's where it's like, hey, share you. So this right here is kind of this coming out post of you. And this is going to feel a little forced. So again, put it in your words. But this is just a framework to get it started. Hey there. Actually, where's my phone? I'm going to go off of one I just did. I've done it twice now since I've kind of, when I've learned this approach. Where is it right here? Okay. I'm going to read it to you. So look at there. Hey there. Most days you can find me. I'm mostly known for, people often is for, all this kind of stuff. So, hey there. I'm Kim, and I'm originally from a town called Levittown, Pennsylvania, and it is famously known to have Sesame Place right around the corner. Why does that matter? Guess what? Because every time I tell people that I'm originally from Levittown, they're like, what? I'm like, outside of Philadelphia. I was like, but wait, do you know where Sesame Place is? They're like, oh, yeah, it's like the Disney World of PA, which is not that cool. But it gets them to know where I live, what these are. Most days you can find me acting like an Energizer bunny, and my husband is searching for his coffee to mute me out. But really, most days I am on the couch with a messy bun and two 69-pound lab dogs on my lap, and a cat that looks like a loaf of bread when he sleeps while getting work done from my laptop. Why does that matter? It inserts my humor. It inserts my life. It inserts just the reality of what I do as an online health and fitness coach. I am mostly known for eating pizza. So again, it's like, wait, what? So because that's something unique about me. I'm someone that really likes to be healthy because it makes me feel good and it makes me be able to produce what I produce in my living. But I also do really enjoy pizza. So I'm mostly known for pizza, listening to rap music while I work out, and helping women find balance in their life. Or I like to say I help women feel their much needed and valid feels. People often refer to me as the bubbly one. I take it in pride that who doesn't want to love bubbly on a Friday or everyday night? Oh, they meant my personality. So again, putting in the personality, putting in you. Oh, they meant my personality, but my mind is always on champagne. So it's that wine lover. It's that someone that likes to have fun, but also be healthy, because the women that I speak to, they're like, I just feel like my whole life is uprooted if I have to do a cleanse, or I have to do this 21-day fix, or if I have to do this. It's like, no, I learned this, from Melissa. Her and I were collaborating, and it was just like, people need that structure first, aka the 21-day fix. And then over time, you can start to see what your maintenance and your balance is. And it just clicked for me. It's like, I want to help women find their structure or something, the foundation to go back to, but know that they can have those nights that they have the wine, that they have their favorite food, whatever that is. It's the relatability factor. And then it's like, I love serving the world by showing other women they have a voice within their four walls of their home, their minds in the outside world, one conversation with themselves and others at a time. The things I'm most passionate about is loving on the people in my life, because I wasn't always able to give love freely. Vulnerability right there. That's a little piece of my story that I share in other ways. And then I leave it at that. I have more in there. I won't share it all to you, but you can reference it back to there. But there's going to be this piece called engagement at the end. So again, why do you? Why put that out there? Why not just be that authority in the space? The reason being is because you're a human being and you're in a business to serve people. So if you listen to, like, if you see like an Apple commercial, start this in marketing in general, they're generating feelings. So, my gosh, I remember I kept on seeing this one for, I think it's, it's really sad that I forget it. Clear Blue pregnancy test. I'm not pregnant. This is not my way of sharing with you guys that I'm pregnant. But I saw these clear, can you imagine? Oh my God, that'd be just so dramatic. It was Clear Blue, and it was these commercials. And I kept on just like loving everything about the commercials because they were showing the emotions of the connection between the people, the feelings. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to hug someone after I show them the Clear Blue. So now I want to go buy Clear Blue. So how are you showing you the feelings, the emotions of what you do as an individual and who you are as an individual? And that's through this kind of stuff. And my biggest feedback that I know this stuff is working is when someone says to me, oh my God, we're already best friends. And I'm like, I don't even know you. And I love it. You're right. We are best friends. Not yet. But guess what? We'll go talk more in my next challenge group. We'll go talk more in my next, in my free community. So this is just the storefront for them to see, can I come in? Can I come in? And that's why I said in the beginning, this is not it, guys. This is not putting all your eggs in this basket. Social media is the only thing that you're going to be successful in. It's like, no, this is just you making it easier on yourself that people are like, can I come into that free community? Can I come into that challenge group? Wait, this is the 7th time I've seen you talk about coaching. Can I come in? This is giving you just that edge. It's just like that slight edge from that book. So these are the call to actions. And this is I love the CTA. I remember when I first started working more with Vito, he would always have these abbreviations. And I'm like, what is CTA? And like, I was so afraid to ask him. And so I just started Googling it. And I'm like, okay, got it. So when I always have like abbreviations, I always make sure to say them out. So the call to actions for everything. So when I said to you guys, engagement, you can now start to have a call to action on everything. I don't really tell many people in social media that you should and should not do things. I don't feel it serves your autonomy. But if you're going to take something from this, this is one of them, solely because the more you get people to start, the more you start to train them to engage on posts that aren't about a challenge group, aren't about coaching opportunities, don't know why I need to be doing this. And the air quotes kill me every time. The more you start to have them engage, the more they'll start to engage on the back end with you. The more they'll start to be open to when you go reach out to them, because you're starting to train them to, double tap. If this spoke to me. I know, men, this doesn't speak to you. Tag your BFF, but it's like tag your workout buddy. Probably not still for men, but how can you now start to put describe your weekend in emojis? Again, not for you guys, but for the men, you're gonna definitely be like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, kind of a couple. Some of these will apply. Don't get me wrong, but how can we say, tell me your favorite thing, or to Bryant, for example. What's your favorite beer to enjoy on the weekend? Comment below. Oh, yeah. Is that it, Brian? Yeah, you're like, come on. And so as you start to do these call to actions, you'll start to see people engage out of nowhere. Meaning when you reach out to them, it's going to feel different because they're starting to read your content in a different light. They may not like it. They may not comment, but guess what? They're going to be more receptive when you do reach out, when they do have that random like. Instagram stories, which I'm going to touch on in a little bit. And I know you have 9 minutes, but Instagram stories, you'll start to see people that start to see your stories. And I'm like, they've never liked or commented on anything. I'm going to go reach out to them. That's some cool stuff about the Instagram stories and the Snapchat. You can see the people that are viewing stuff that I think content-wise, your number one storyteller. And that's where these call to actions will feel so much more better for you and your content and less scary when you invite people to a challenge group or a coaching opportunity. Make sense? So let's bring it home here on this piece. And I'm going to open up to the lines for anything. And then if you want me to talk about Instagram stories, I will. And I want to touch on something that Sasha went through. So we look at this social media as this big mountain, this overwhelming task. What are people going to think about me? I don't have enough creativity. I don't have this content to put it out there. People aren't engaging with me. We've been assigned this mountain to show others it can be moved. This quote really stuck out to me because you can move mountains. As fairy and amazingness as that is in the world, you can. And the more you move those mountains, the more you will see that they're only anthills. The more you start to put more social media out there, you're going to say that you're going to not only be on that top of that mountain, it's going to be sustained. Brendan Burchard always talks about it's heighten and sustain. How do we get there? And it's through frameworks like this. It's through intention like this. And it's through you taking that social media off its pedestal and putting it right next to you. So let me open up. I'm going to see you guys first. Guys, you rock. I want to share this last piece before I, chime in. Is Sasha brought up a really good point about like where to post. When actually, let me bring up. I wrote your guys' notes in here really quickly. And I appreciate you guys still staying on, even with the quote unquote cockroach in my house. It's not a cockroach. Where is it? Actually, I remember it, so no worries. So Sasha talked about, what's this like page or personal page? Instagram stories, and I think this is by far really frustrating. And I'm saying frustrating in the sense as like people that are out there on social media. My over the top, what I'm seeing in the market, Facebook like pages are great to serve for ads. So you're going to want to still put content over on your Facebook like page because the worst thing you can do is run ads and have no content over there. But know that you may not get the full engagement, the likes, the comments. It's very hard to build that piece over there unless you are constantly paying for people to see those posts. So to kind of, if you're like, I don't have a like page, don't worry about that just yet. Because ads are really beneficial when you're doing it. That's a whole nother call, which actually we are doing next week. So I'm not even going to go into it. Becky and Andrew are going into that. So please, actually, I'm not even going to touch on that. So put it on your personal page or put it on your like page. It's going to be a preference. And I say that because the more you show up on one, that's how it's going to, that's where you'll see the benefits. So right now, I have seen more value, and this is just personally and stuff that I'm learning on my own, on Instagram and my like page. I will occasionally now share to my personal page. Reason being is that I do not believe my personal page, aka my warm market, is dead. I don't. But I also want people to really be able to go see my content on where I'm really, quote unquote, running business. And that's on my Instagram and on my like page. Because what I was seeing, and again, this is just me trial and error going through it. I was seeing, as much as I love when you guys interact with my stuff, I was seeing more coaches. I was getting a ton of likes, ton of comments on my personal page, but it was more coaches. As much as I love you guys, we're looking for challengers. You're looking for new people in our network. So that's how I've really differentiated the two. And then Sasha had a really interesting thing that she had go on is where the gym that she teaches at asked you to do a social media post, correct? Is that what happened, Sasha?
It's actually a gym in my downline.
Oh, gym.
And so I just took it upon myself. I was posting and promoting the challenge that we were running together.
Oh.
And yeah, so also good teaching lesson too is you need to teach people and not just say, oh, I'll do it for you.
That's really good. That's really good. So long story short is that they took her post down, correct? And because it wasn't at the time frame, right?
They took it down, one, because it was too long and wordy, because I was offering a lot of content. Obviously, we're in the trenches. We're continuing to learn. Part of this community is a lot about learning, right? And Kim's teaching us all this awesome stuff. And so we're at the forefront of stuff where a lot of people don't invest and don't spend the time.
Yeah.
So we do.
And I love when she said that about like long posts. I hear a lot of people that were like, I don't want to do a long post. And I was like, and I remember I said this to someone, they're like, okay, should be shorter on Instagram or longer. And I was like, dude, if I have something to say and it needs to go into the damn comment section and then the second comment section, because I love Instagram, hell yeah. And I love when I get someone that likes that comment, which is AKA my post, because you only have a certain amount of characters. I'm like, and I was like, and so that's where I'm like, hey, we can kill ourselves over the time frame, because it's out there. Yeah, most of the time it's better to post in the morning and at night. Most of the time in the afternoon, but guess what? If you're celebrating something like a 15-pound weight loss, people are going to freak out. You're going to freak out at whatever time it is. So we can really consume ourselves in the time frame and how long the post is, all this kind of stuff, where to post, or we can actually just go do the work and start to see the trial and errors as we go. You know what I mean? So it's just, when she said that to me, one, I was so happy for her to not only stand up for herself, but two, like what she got out of it. She got so much value out of it. And I was like, that's when you know you are trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, trusting what you've learned. And it's happening with this kind of work right here. Sitting on these calls, being engaged with other people, having people check out your social media posts and be like, give me feedback. What's this? So I appreciate you guys. I know I went really fast and sometimes it's scatterbrain. So Ariana, okay. Kim, are those preset categories or do we change the categories each week? The ones on my Google Calendar?
Yeah, those ones that you had posted up, because it looked like you had them like set maybe for the week for the intention, or like if you're running a challenge, like would you change them each week? Like
definitely change them each week. You can, so for example, the reason why health was back and forth, and this is not perfect, just know this, is because I was running a challenge group next week. And so I'm promoting for it. But you can still kind of keep that as a rule of thumb in the sense of, I like to talk about the playfulness of life. I like to talk about health and fitness. I like to talk about my family and, kind of the power of social media. So what is that for you? And kind of like on a higher, not a higher level, but like, what are 5 things that are you outside of your work? And that will help you kind of do a little framework. So for example, if you look at my Instagram, it says obsessed with pizza, dancing, messy buns, and rescuing cats and dogs. So it has nothing to do with my damn business, but it has everything to do with me and something for people to get to know me, to be able to want to do business with me. Does that make sense?
No, that makes total sense, because when you put it in that framework, you are bringing it back to like the you and all of this, so that you can interlace that just within a quick framework that's easy to follow each week, but you and your life change throughout those weeks. So no, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think, see if, does anyone have any other questions in here? I'm trying to read through all of Vito's terrible comments back. Of course, he's a coward. Left. No, I know he had to go. Is this, I want to get your guys' feedback, like, not more to the point, it's like, can you leave with one to three things out of this, instead of being like, I gotta, fuck you, dude. Brian, it like naturally came out. I'm like, wait, I'm not supposed to curse. And I don't want you to leave with everything. I don't want you to be like, I gotta do this, this, and this, and this. Like, Ariana, like, I think you focus on your scheduling, your theming. That's it. Go. You're done. Go with that and then start to build up on that. You don't have to be this like storyteller, this writer, like you all of a sudden by like next week, everyone's like, oh, Kim, I'm writing a book now. I'm like, oh shit, that's not what I wanted out of this. And it's just like, no, take that one thing for you. Theming, I have it down. Good. Yeah. So that's great. Like, so for Bryant, like he, and I do know this because I do this work and I know Bryant's heard this before. I can 100% know as a coach, you know, with him, oh yeah, you're doing really good with theming. No one else is thinking like that. So don't worry about that, guys. But now Brian's going to say like, all right, now I'm going to go to more of that story, dropping them into the story, and then the engagement piece, because that's something that he needs to focus on. That's funny. I'm just reading some of the comments. Does anyone have anything they want to? Zeke, what's up? What's up, Zeke? Oh, he's frozen. Or am I frozen? Oh, no. I think I'm frozen. All right.
You're not frozen.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Kim, I have a question. It's Margaret.
What up, girl?
I'm staying off because you see my daughter painted me during our meeting.
Wow, you didn't stay off. You showed us, so thank you.
Just letting you know why. So you know.
Wait, please take it off. You already showed us. Come on.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Wait. I'm not kidding.
Painting.
Snap a damn photo. This is hilarious. This is neat.
Oh no, it's on my story, and it's been a weekend of this. So yeah, totally. She's totally into
There's
face
something
painting.
on your nose. There's something on your nose.
Yeah. But my quick question for you is, let me turn her video off. How many of your posts are pre-planned? Like, do you sit down and just knock them out?
Great question. I try. This is something that I'm always working on. So what my plan is for Sundays is to do exactly that. Set the intention and theme my and theme my days. And because I believe it's going to be somewhat similar, but I never want to get into a place where I am copying and pasting life in general. And then if I can get, I would say, because my content is so much different than what it used to be, but you know that like hi there thing that I was saying, I could probably pre-plan that. So I can do my best to do 2 posts in advance. But what I try to do is, because I'm only doing 1 a day, this is just personally, I try to get it up before it needs to go out. So like, for example, I wanted to do it before I got on my calls tonight. But I also want to give you this tip. So no, I do not plan well in advance. But if you have content that you like shot a video, like Vito talks about that a lot, like that's different. That's a little bit quote unquote easier. But if you have a message that you felt people engaged with, keep that in your threshold, copy and paste that shit, keep that in your Google Docs and just reuse that and put it in a different twist each time. But I will say, this is what I do. I never, and I can't believe I didn't say this on the call, so I'll probably put it in the show notes or the notes after this. I never post in real time. So for example, say for example, like you took a picture of yourself right now and you were going to go to post, like just got on a call, blah, 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 blah. I never post in real time solely because I feel it's rushed. And it's just something that it helps me actually take photos. Again, I'm more that visual. Takes the photos and then really plan out what I want to say there. And I feel like it comes out a little bit better. So, example, my last 2 posts on my Instagram page, you can see like the flowers and then me, the brick wall. Again, brick wall. The brick wall, I took those photos, went on with my day with my husband that day. Didn't post. Hell no, I would have never came up with that. The flowers, I was on a run. And I took the photo. I was like, that's really pretty. And would this message come up? Hell no. I know it wouldn't. I wasn't in that same mindset. But what it did when I was scrolling back through my photos, because it's also another thing too, it gives you guys more luxury and freedom to scroll back to your photos because you have other stuff. And remember this, I just like to go off Instagram because it's like 9 photos, technically like what they can see. People forget. Go post that photo again. Don't worry about having, the perfect selfie or whatever it may be. Like, go post that photo again. So simpler terms, no, I do not plan well in advance. I would like to do 2 if most. It's hard for me personally.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys staying a little bit after. Does anyone have anything else? forever hold your peace. I will stop the recording. Thank you guys. I hope
Great
this
call.